Parag Marathe promoted to the English Premier League. Do you think Adam Peters is going to be going to Houston? Yesterday, there was a report that if Nick Caserio gets fired after the draft, Adam Peters would be going to Houston. But if you think that through, like, why would an organization let Nick Caserio pick their players, then fire him, and then bring it? And then why would the Niners let Adam Peters pick their players and then let him go to another team? It seems like there's a lot of conflicts of interest there. Then you hear this news about Parag Marathe getting like new job descriptions. And you're thinking, is Peters leaving or is he getting promoted? Is he going to get a new title? What do you think's going on here with Peters?
Yeah, if Adam Peters leave, that's the worst case scenario. We just talked about one guy the Flyers could let leave today and it wouldn't affect them. Adam Peters leaving would have a major impact, I think, on this front office. I think Peters is a really good talent evaluator. You look at the guys that have been brought in, especially towards the later rounds, which is more along the lines of where Peters and his group are starting to make the choices, is usually rounds 4, 5, 6, 7. That's usually when it goes towards the scouting department, and they've done very well in that area. So when it comes to Adam Peters, that would be a huge loss. Why would they let him pick? That's something that you see kind of around the NFL. It happens quite often. But you make a good point too. Again, I hate the fact that I keep having to say that you're making good points, but you do.
We're going to argue later about Steve Young and Joe Montana, and it's going to get heated.
If you look back in 2010, right? 2010, 2011 were two of the 49ers' best drafts that they had. They kind of built the Harbaugh teams. And those were teams that were drafted by somebody else. One guy set up the draft board in 2010 and then somebody else made the picks. But I would rather if a move like this was going to be made, do it now. Do it at this point. Your evaluations are mostly done. Let everybody go where they need to go and let them start to build the teams that they're going to be with. That makes a lot of sense.
I could see the Niners not wanting to let Adam Peters go. I mean, it's hard to say what he does, but the way I look at it is like he's kind of the John McVay of the front office, whereas John Lynch is more the Carmen policy. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of the way I see it. And I think if they lose Adam Peters, there's not necessarily a, easy replacement. I think he's important. I think they value him. And I don't think if he says, I'm going to Houston, they're going to say, well, see you later, buddy. It sounds a little bit like an idle threat. He's from out here. Nothing against Houston, but the city. I've never actually been to Houston. But it's a blank slate. Like, you're really going to leave this team that's like, you're this close to having a ring. A ring. That's transformative. And you're going to go to Houston? I don't see it. I feel like he wants to be a GM. John Lynch has the title. They could promote John Lynch to executive vice president or whatever. That's what Parag is. And then promote Adam Peters to GM and keep him. And then everyone's happy. I don't know.
That's the direction that I think they should go. I mentioned that last night, is that, Lynch is more of kind of, he gets involved with the football stuff. So don't get me wrong there, but he's more of the figurehead. He's a really good speaker. He does really good talking
big
to the
picture.
media. Yeah, he's really good with all that stuff. So you let him move into that role, still get his hands, dirty with the football stuff a little bit. You let Peters take over the GM title, do all the down and dirty stuff, talk to the media a little bit, get his feet wet there. He's been doing it a little bit more recently, as far as getting engaged with the media. So it seems like the 49ers have a really good transition here if they want to. You mentioned Marathe leaving, so it opens up a spot. So that would be the best case scenario for the 49ers, I think.
This really comes down to how much do the Yorks want to pay, because they would have to approach John Lynch like, hey, look, this is a promotion and a raise. Okay, don't take this the wrong way. You're the vice president. You're getting a lot more money. Don't leave for Amazon, please. We want you, because I think they want him. I mean, I think he has a function in this organization. And then with Peters, that's another raise too. So are you guys willing to cut the check? Or are you guys going to say you're willing to cut the check, but then let Adam Peters go to Houston and say, we can replace him? I don't know. Yeah. Or let John Lynch go back to Amazon. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Take the money you're paying Parag, give that and a little bit more to John Lynch. Parag's going to have his own, whatever it is with leads, however they pay those guys, and just do it. Make it happen. You just hold us that you're making a bunch of money. You're not a lemonade stand. So use that money that you're making and pay your people.
Yeah, you really painted yourself in that corner right there. Glass Half Full guy says, why would Peters turn down other GM jobs this offseason but go be the GM of the Texans? Is it just because of D'Amico? I think it's negotiation. Like, hey, I want this promotion. It's like almost like a threat. I'll leave. But you really want to go to Houston? Like, doubt it.
That's right. It's like when the guys are fighting, right? And the guy's just like, "Come on, I'm going to get you." And he's like, hold me back." And that's kind of
hold me back. Thank you for holding me back. I mean, I understand D'Amico wanting to go back. He played out there. His wife might be from out there. Not sure. I think they had a family that they were building out there together. So it's home. Peter's home is out here. He's a West Coast guy. He's from out here. So I don't see him all of a sudden this close to being a champion and a hero in his local area. He's just going to start over in Houston. Boy, that's bold. I don't see it.
There's no reason. He's a Bay Area guy too. He's from Cupertino, I think it is. So he's right down the street. He's basically living back home with his parents now anyway. So just stay here and pay him what he's worth. Give him the title that he deserves and make your franchise better. Build it like Eddie did, where he had the best guys throughout the organization.
Once you're accustomed to Bay Area weather, I don't think you can move to Houston in your mid 40s. That just seems like it's too late. You can't. I don't know. Also, what's the Mexican food like in Houston?
It's good.
It's close to Mexico, but it feels like it would be a whole different thing. I don't know. I'd have to know before I move to Houston.
No, I've been to Houston. It's been a while, but I've been to Houston, and the Mexican food was so good the first night that we were there. We went back to the same place the next night. That's how good it was. I think my dad I think the other part was that the waiter would come and he'd take your order and he wouldn't write anything down. And I think my dad was just so intrigued by that.
That's
he
always
wanted
impressive.
to go back and he wanted to see if he could do it again.
Yeah, that's always impressive. Well, I got to spend some time in Houston. All I know is that whenever I change planes in Houston, it could be 9 a.m, hot and muggy. I'm like sweating in the terminals. Like they don't have, but hey, you can't judge a city on its airport. You really can't. Gary, thank you so much for becoming a member. Gary Van Horn, appreciate you. That Niner guy Parag's statement made it clear that the front office won their Super Bowl when they got Levi's built. Lemonade Stand won titles with great player, was wasted Hall of Talent like they did from 2010 on. I want to make one more point about the Lemonade Stand. I want to come back to the Lemonade Stand. So yeah, they're really proud that they made Levi's Stadium, but now they have to borrow $120 million from the league to renovate it because it's not nice enough to get another Super Bowl. Round of applause to Parag Marate for being so far ahead of the rest of the league. That's embarrassing. Talk about a lemonade stand.
It's impressive that they were able to get the NFL to pay for those upgrades too.